Hi, I'm Bruce Brasington of iBoard Touch. Today I'm going to be looking at how IWB Pro compared to Alpha Touch handles smart notebook files. I'm going to be using two test files and I'm going to show you how these should behave first of all in Smart Notebook itself. So we're going to go with this one called Overlay 3. About 5 or 6 pages. Smart having a little bit of an issue here, not responding. Should pick up in a second. There we go. Now, it's important if you can to note the sequence of the pages in the page sorter. So you've got the maths one, the balloon one here, various animals, map, and then a few other test pages. Okay, down to the bottom one here. So on the maths page you'll see that the blue squares with the question marks have an animation built in to fade once when they're clicked on or touched. Obviously I'm doing this on top of on my laptop rather, so I have noticed that one of the softwares, Alpha Touch, behaves vastly differently on the board, makes the job even worse than what we're about to show you. So as I'm clicking through the pages here, you'll see how these are behaving. These files were actually from a couple of versions ago from the Smart Notebook tutorial that's actually built into the system. Here we drag a grouped object, which is this button down the bottom, which pulls in grouped words into specific spaces on a set of text. Revealing a white object out of the way to show the notes underneath. So there we go. So that's Smart Notebook. Let's now have a look at the Alpha Touch software called 2Touch. So before I open any of the pages, I just want to draw attention to this rather complex looking array of buttons which aren't easy to see. There's a lot of functionality in here, but it's very cluttered and not very clearly thought through. Let's go open the same one we were just looking at. Now, if you recall, I asked you to record the page sequence, and bizarrely page 3 is now page 1. In fact, all the pages appear to be page 1. So let's click through here and see what they do. So what I should be able to do is drag this animal down. Now what it is that this is actually locked, this object. Once locked I can move it down, but you can see what's happened here is that it's actually ungrouped the object, the image, from the text. So that's the first issue. Same here. This time it's the upper layer, is the question mark, which should be fading but doesn't. This one you can move out the way, but again I believe what's happening with this software 2Touch is that it doesn't have animation built into the software, so it can't emulate what Smart Notebook is doing directly. So you have to use a workaround. This one's fine. as is this one. And again, this one's working better. Okay, so on the first two pages, the main issue was grouping of text objects. So if you create a label and you group the label with some text, this process means that it's you've got to regroup it again and reorder it. Okay, so let's now go back to Smartboard and we'll test another function here, and we'll go with this one here. So these are pages I put together when I was doing Smart Notebook training, and just wait for Smart to catch up with us again. Once again, if you could note the page sequence, but also the colour in this instance. So this is how this one particularly works. This was actually a training thing I put together for so the idea is that people are supposed to line up the boxes with the appropriate icons. Like so. So here we have a grid with images in them and a reveal. So called the magic square, magic paper. And a famous quote. So let's see how that behaves on 2Touch. Let's bring that back into the frame, and we'll open so there's a massive difference here straight away. You can see that instead of a blue background, it's red. We're missing a large chunk of elements in here and on this one, whereas these ones, which are fairly simple, they have managed to emulate. Okay, but the next one I'm going to test now is we're going to do the whole thing again in IWB Pro. Okay, so file open, and we're going to go with overlay 3. And you'll see that we can do exactly what the Smart page was supposed to do, because we have got animations built in. Objects are still grouped. Oops, I accidentally grabbed that one. There we go. Okay, so the next one is test part 2. So we've got the blue background, and it has kept the gradient, the graduated image, and this looks slightly different, but you can see that it behaves in the same way. Okay, and that concludes the test across the 3 softwares. Thank you.